Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're with me this morning. We've got a big show lined up. But first, our weather is always brought to us by Panhandle Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Now, high today 86, low 76. Not a lot of movement as far as temperature. We've got a lot of rain coming tomorrow. We got some coming today, but a lot of rain is on the way. It's just that unsettled pattern we've had now for a couple of weeks. What's interesting, I looked at a water temperature, it's reading 85.3 this morning. It dropped down like 2 degrees the last couple of days, and I got to thinking, I'll share this later, when I was last Friday when we were snorkeling for scallops and all. You get out there and spend some time in the water, you swim through, you go to different areas and all. I just love doing that. It's one of my most passionate things I enjoy. But you will hit some currents of, you'll be in that sort of warm water, and all of a sudden you're going to hit a cold spot. And you'll stay in a little while. And I was thinking last Friday when I did that, I sort of chuckled because I know when they take our water temperature, when NOAA takes it, those same cold currents come through, and sometimes you'll see a little drop and then go back up. It's just that magnified on a bigger scale in the Gulf is what I was going through on Friday. If you get out there in the water and swim around a while, you know exactly what I mean. You just hit some cold spots. So I wanted to share that with you. Our river readings brought to us by Sandhill Seafood. Our place called Bluntstown 5.7, and it's got a steady drop to it. And the Choctawhatchee at Caryville 5.8. They're almost identical this morning. And it looks like the Choctawhatchee is going to start going up a little bit tomorrow. And it's probably going to keep on going up for the weekend with the rain we're getting. So be aware of that. You're going to fish the rivers this weekend. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. High tide at 5:59, right at 6 o'clock. We're right here at high tide, and low tide is going to be at 5:11 tonight. So we've got an outgoing tide all day. Look at the tides all week long. Good, strong tide. This is a good week to go fishing. Now, the marine forecast will be west-southwest coming in at about 10. So a little steady breeze right there. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I'm excited to announce some good news. I got some information over the weekend. Our viewers over there in Liberty County were excited and called me up and said that Liberty County High School is now offering outdoor education to its students, or a form of outdoor education. I don't know if it's called outdoor ed, but they're having a class where they're sharing fishing and hunting and outdoor activities, and I was just so glad to see that. As you know, we're all ambassadors for getting young people out in the outdoors, and I preach it all the time. Every school in Florida Panhandle should have outdoor ed in their curriculum. I say it over and over again. I'm a firm believer of it, and I'll preach it till the day I die, that we need this in our school system. So congratulations to Liberty County High School and the superintendent and the school board members and whoever's coaching it, however got on there. I'm proud of y'all, okay? And I see other schools do it. I won't mention the other 10 counties, but we have it here, and still got it at Mosley. And Bozeman's doing a good job with their FFA program, which is a very strong program, FFA. I feel I'm a strong proponent of that. All right, start off with our pictures. How about Buddy West? Buddy's a friend of mine. Buddy is a direct descendant of George Mortimer West. Let me tell you, if you don't know George Mortimer West, he had the first newspaper printing press in St. Andrews. He was one of the early founders, and that house right there on Beach Drive, the old log cabin, they built that many years ago, and Buddy lived there. So he caught his redfish right in front of the house, right there on Beach Drive. All right, Buddy. This was a special one to me, George Stewart. George is a good friend of mine. I see him every Sunday morning. I didn't see him this past Sunday morning because look where he's at. He's out there in New Mexico, all right? And right there, in fact, I was talking to him when I put something on the air Friday on Facebook. He was en route. George's been on the show before. He's the grandfather to Baby Flash, when we had Baby Flash on about 2 years ago. And he's out there on a bow hunt, and his very first hunt that day. Actually got him on a Saturday, I think. He drove out there. It took about a day and a half to drive there, but good job, George Stewart, retired Coast Guard man. And speaking of everybody having fun, this is Danny Landingham and Dennis. They're brothers. Dennis is the one who's done this painting behind me. You got Dennis Lanningham on it, right here, these Lynn Haven boys. But look where they are. They're up in Montana. It's called Montana Creek up in Sustan River, Alaska. They're fishing up in Alaska. Check out, I got a series of pictures here, but they're fly fishing up there, and they caught some big fish. Look at them. All right, there's Dennis right there. And he's a talented fisherman and an artist. Beautiful fish. Dennis there, and one or two more. That's his brother. And you know, that is some trophy fish right there. All right, now let's go. Let's get back to freshwater. All those guys are having a good time. I'm here working. This is the Edens family, Johnny Edens. Look at the grouper size of this grouper. Johnny Edens here. That is a huge grouper, local grouper. Good job there. Okay, let's get on down to this one. Let's see, this is Scallop and David Rich. Scallop and, I love the name of their boat. It's called a Fishing Fool. David Rich, look at that name. And they got into the scallops. There were a lot of scallops pictures. I'm gonna talk about scallops later on in the show. That's a good picture there. Nice little boat. Okay, and I brought these up in case you wanna go scalloping on Sunday morning and hurry back and get to church. You have your high heels with you, all right? And speaking of scallops, we'll get to these. You know, these are pictures I took, and well, let's see. Let's get to these a little bit later. I just want to go ahead and mention that. I do want to mention about gator season. We got gator season. It started actually August 15th, and it starts in different areas and different places. But gator season is well underway. I forget how many permits the state issued. You know, it's very controlled. You have to get a tag to do it, and get your tag out in different places. You got so many tags, and it's not a complicated process, but it is a process to go through. And I have some friends who have a tag, and I may go with them maybe tomorrow night down in Franklin County, around Apalachicola. That's where the tag, you know, draw tags per county. And most people want to get Lake Seminole because there's some monsters up at Lake Seminole, and it's just sometimes you have no control. A lot of it is just, you know, driven by a computer drawing. So. Gator season has started. I've seen a few pictures. I haven't seen any of the big old bull gators, but I've seen some small gators taken. So be aware, the gator season is now underway here in Florida. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're in the process of experimenting right here, and what we want to get to. I did this Facebook Live. And it turned out really well. This is on the Scallop Report the other day, and we're going to try to play from the very beginning. I did a Facebook Live because I wanted I wanted your viewers to know about how many scallops were out there, give you a report as to what was going on, and ahead of time before everybody and their brother got down there and started scalloping. So this, I went on Facebook Live, so I'm going to try to start at the very beginning. Here we go.
All right, folks. Hope everybody's watching right now. This is Western Chester Facebook Live from St. Joe Bay, Panhandle Marina, and our beautiful boat here. Gavin and I have been out. And folks, the scallops are back. Check this out. I'm not going to drop them all out. We got our limit of scallops. The thing about it, we got our limit in probably an hour. The scallops are back is a big news. We got in there late. We didn't start scalloping at 10, and we in an hour or something, we got our limit. So I'm going to tickle. I want to go there and talk. If you want to come tomorrow, it's going to be a great idea. On a scale of 1 to 10 this morning, about an 8 or 9. I'm so pleased that our scallops are back. Everybody I've talked to has been limited out. Panhandle have a place this year we can actually clean your scallops. These folks over here doing well. Let's go in here and talk to the manager. It's been a beautiful morning. We were worried a little bit about the rain. The rain held off, and everybody I've talked to has gotten their limit. Hey, listen, you're on live TV now, okay? I told her she could either sing or dance. She said she'd rather sing.
No, I love singing.
Well, you're the manager down here, right?
I am the manager, me and my husband, yes.
Okay, so it's been a great morning.
It has been a fantastic morning.
You saw a lot of smiling faces coming in?
We did, yes. A lot of people are getting their limits out.
Well, and y'all everything's so unique and all.
Okay, so I went ahead and you can see, and I already had, what was amazing to me about the thing, like I said, I just wanted to put it in about and let you know let our viewers know, the Panhandle Outdoor viewers know on Friday that you could go ahead and go ahead. A lot of y'all didn't know whether they were going to go on Saturday or not. And I went ahead and wanted you to know that you could go on Saturday because there were a lot of scallops out there. So I was really pleased to get that. And I had no idea there were going to be that many people looking at it. So let me see. Now, in fact, there were 2,500 views of that, and I just intended it for the viewing audience themselves. So anyway, the point was well taken. I got a lot of reports, and all the reports were good. I'm going to go back over with you some of the places that you can go. But one of the first things I want to show you, I'm going to keep everything right here in the center of the screen. Everything sort of centers around Black's Island as far as location here, location there. And if you'll see, people are talking about north, south, east, and west of Black's Island. If you'll notice, Black's Island doesn't quite run north and south. Okay, it really runs northeast. All right, so be aware that north and south be this way. Now there were people all over the place. Let me go ahead and mention this. It was well monitored. We had FWC out there, and they were stopping a lot of people. I mean, which is what they're supposed to do. I'm glad they're doing it, but a lot of people got checked, and I don't know if anybody got caught. Surely not, but you never know. But this area, there's a little area down here, and I didn't get over here to it. So I was going to show you where this area is protected right in here. That's a seed scallop. There's no scallop in that area. Supposedly it's well flagged. I did see some people, I knew some undercover plainclothes FWC officers going out there to patrol that area. So I could tell right away what they were doing, which is good. Now, I want to go ahead and show you where I got the scallops. Put in Press Nails. See, Press Nails is northeast of Black's Island, almost directly. Here's north and here's east, so Press Nails is northeast. I always try to start in this area here. Well, it was just Gail and I. We just made one stop, and I was really apprehensive. I really wasn't expecting to get that many scallops from all the reports. FWC never returned my request for information. I talked to some other media people. They didn't return their request for information on St. Joe Bay. None of us knew anything. That's why we were all apprehensive. No counts, no kind of information at all as far as the population of scallops in St. Joe Bay was given to the public this year. I'm very disappointed in that. But nevertheless, we went out, and this area in here, first of all, I want to show you, okay, y'all see this little, it may not show up real well, I may try to even blow it up. These are all little potholes. See these little round things? Every place I point, these are little potholes. See how many there are? This is great. This is, I love this about Google Earth. Some of these are large, some are small, but the scallops are located in these potholes on the edges. It's simple as that. It's not a lot of scientific research goes into it. That's just trial and error in my 40 plus years of doing this. So we were at Black's Island, and basically we were in this area right, okay, let me show you. Here's Black's Island right here, okay? So there's a channel. You can come in on this channel here, and we were right out in this area. Folks, I threw the anchor out one time, or let the power pole down one time. You say throw the anchor out, now we say let the power pole down. Threw it out one time, and we got our limit without moving, which is very unusual. Most of the time in years past, you move 4 or 5 times, get some over here, get some over there. Now I don't want you to get too excited, because I was apprehensive, and don't get too excited. They were not thick, but they were steady, so you know the difference. And be aware also, and I don't know if this is going to show up. I think it is. This is, okay, look, this is Black's Island. Again, I keep talking about that, but across from that channel, this is a grass bed. I'm zooming in on this grass bed, and I want, see all this right here? See all this right here? These are scars from props from motors. Now that's sort of a tricky area. I want to tell you why. If you're coming from Press Nails, it is so easy. This is that big grass bed, and in fact, I found myself, I hit it. I didn't hit it full speed, but I got on the edge of it without even realizing where I was. I thought I was more over here, and I was right in here. Of course, I immediately got off and went back in here. But this bed, once you hit this bed now, you got to get off of it. You got channels here, you got deeper water here, and this is sand, so you get out here. But all these grass beds, they've got scars in them from where people hit them, and it's not hard to do, because a lot of grass beds, FWC has marked some of the grass beds. They've got some markers up in some of them. We really need it. Out of all of them, this one is probably the most hit one because of people coming in from Press Nails and all, and over here at the City Marina. This one gets hit a lot. This one really needs to be marked off, and we put some flags right around it and mark that channel real good. And it's not, for experienced people, it's hard to find, but for guys and girls who are not experienced, it's real easy to hit that grass bed. So be aware of that. Now, everybody I talked to limited out, and there were some folks down in here that got their limits, and up in here that got their limits. I don't know about the folks in here, but remember this area is closed right here. So that's your scallop report, and it's going to be it's going to last through September 30th. But I know the population is going to just start going down on a steady basis. It was fascinating running into the different people. I stopped off at Blue Water. I always stop off there, and I ran into some folks that were driven up from Orlando to go scalloping in St. Joe Bay. I got tickled because they're over there. They were buying the massive snorkels in the packages. It was this classic tourist. It was the same thing I would do if I was going to Orlando to do something, go to bait and tackle and buy that kind of stuff. They were doing it here. And they were asking me where to go, where to put the boat in. I recommended put the boat in at Press Nails. I said that's a private business, and the same amount you put here in the city, boat launch, they're going to charge you $10. That money's going to go to government, and you know what they're going to do with it. I said go ahead and let some private business people get it, because they're going to give money back to the community. And instead of take money from, I said they're trying to gouge you down at the marina. So anyway, I talked them into going to Press Nails to put in. So anyway, I got a lot more stories to say about it, but we had a great time. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game time today. Brought to us by Blue Water Outrigger, the man where they packed out this weekend. It's great to see. The time is 9:05 to 11:05 this morning, and tonight 9:29 to 11:29. A quick look at these pictures. And one thing I failed to mention, I was so pleased with the size of the scallops. They were big scallops, and that's because we waited over a month to open up the season. We've all been saying that. Thank you, FWC, for delaying the date and opening of scallop season. So you see how they will grow in just a short period of time. And most of these are like the ones on the left, and they were in good. In fact, here's the size of the meat on the bottom is in July. And then late August, you start seeing what happened. So I was real pleased, and that's why that's so important now. So really good job on the size of them. Now let's go. On Friday, we were able to go scalloping, had a great time. Saturday, we got up at 6 o'clock Saturday morning, and we decided Friday night we're going to head to Montgomery and go to Buckmaster. So we got up and spent the day up there at Buckmaster's. Had a really good time. You can't go there and not have a great time. But what I was going to show you, and I've got so many stories to tell. I got some video from both days. We'll show them later on in the week, but we haven't even had a chance to look at it. But Buckmaster is just special. There's just a lot of folks there, a lot of booths and everything, all kinds. You can buy T-shirts and all. Ran into some Kim and Alicia from Alpha, they were our local folks up there selling some nice shirts. We're going to talk about that later, but I just talk to people and listen to people for hours up there. So one of the things that fascinated me, I'm going to show you this picture here. This comes from this magazine. This magazine that Buckmaster's had is called The Rack. And this is their buck of the year this past hunting season. Here's a picture of it up here on the screen. It's called Deer of the Year. And look on the lower left-hand corner of the magazine. See where it's taken? It's in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, right there in the state line. And Wendy and them live right below that star. So it was not I know exactly what we're talking about at Fort Campbell. But I got fascinated and started to read about this buck because to be Deer of the Year for Buckmasters, it had to have some special qualities. Well, number one, the most fascinating thing about it, it was killed by a car running over at night in Fort Campbell. And so there's like a 3-page story on this, and it was fascinating. They found this deer, the biologists at Fort Campbell found this buck in 2013, and they knew it was there by the cameras and all. And it's called a Fort Campbell buck. And so the story on it, and they had him on camera. Well, here's what I want you to get from this story. That buck got really big from two things, genetics, of course, but the most important thing, he stayed in a closed hunting area. It's like he could read the signs. He was in a closed area. Fort Campbell is huge. That's where the 101st Airborne trains. and he was in an area about 10,000 acres where they allowed no hunting. And that buck lived there year after year, and got to be, he was at full prime. He was about 5 or 6 years old when he got run over. In fact, when the biologists, they talk about when they got the call that night about 10 o'clock from one of the officers, one of the security guys called them, and they knew immediately, when the guy was trying to explain the buck, they knew immediately which one it was. And they went over there and took him, and they were able to get home. He scored, for your point system, he scored 254 points. But I was just fascinated at the story. But again, it goes on, tells you what they know the offspring, the genetics were spread out in that area. And if you hunt for camel, it's just like hunting tendril. You got to go get permission and all. And there's different things up there because you may have permission to hunt, say, Friday, and they may text you on Thursday night that you got to move to Zone A because you were in Zone Z. But what happened now in 101st Airborne is going to be training. All of a sudden, they change things around constantly. So you have to be flexible up in that area. It's a fascinating story, though, and the biologists were convinced that this buck here was one of the biggest bucks they'd ever seen. And when they got run over, they knew exactly what it was. And they were talking about the genetics, though, that in that area, that those genetics are so strong, there would be more bucks in that area just like that, because, again, it's in a closed area, and I just thought that I got a kick out of that. So I want to share that story with you. The Fort Campbell buck, 254 points out of actually, it was on the Tennessee side, not the Kentucky side. It's a Tennessee buck. Okay, about to run out of time. We got several other things, but tomorrow, we'll have Captain Roy come on tomorrow. We're going to talk about speckled trout fishing in late summer and early fall, what to expect, some places to go. Talked to him last night. He said it's been a little bit slow, and he thinks all this rain and runoff and all has really slowed things down. So we're going to get from the expert himself on speckled trout fishing. Captain Roy Ray will be on our show tomorrow. So anyway, you have a great day today. Do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy work, enjoy school, whatever you're doing today, and enjoy the great outdoors. We'll see you tomorrow, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.